And one of the comments was, that it wasn't quite a review. I meit was reviewing all the specs and everything, but it wasn't a usage review. And then I mentioned that I would talk about it on one of the shows. So since you segued to it, I'm going to throw in like a 2-minute piece on the phone. So, here it is. As you can see, after a full day's use, only at, 58% on the battery. I have to say that I love having the fingerprint scanner on the side of the phone because it easily opens and closes the phone for you securely versus just going into the standard menu to obviously it's unlocked because I'm holding it and whatnot, but I have it set up to view my face and it'll unlock with the facial unlock portion or the fingerprint unlock, which is in the side here. And again, it's as easy as just touching it. I haven't had any issues with the fingerprint scanner at all, so that's very awesome. I love the customization with choosing the icon sizes and then also the spacing for it. Because if you don't want as many icons as what I have, you can make them bigger. The size is also really nice because you can change the text size throughout the entire phone to very small, which I have it at the smallest, to even larger than what you would really want. Of course, it uses all of the Google technology for your apps and goes through the Play Store just like everything else. So you're secure in your downloads as long as you're not downloading flashlight.exe or something like that. You should be good. I've noticed that the processing for things like the camera with the 12 gigs of RAM has been awesome. I don't notice any lag, hang up, anything like that with the phone. So the performance is fantastic. Even if I restart the phone, it maybe 15 seconds from reboot to open and type in your security information to unlock it. So really impressed with that compared to a minute with my aging Z4. And I'm sure that you could attest to that, Howard, with your aging phone, that if you rebooted it, just put it down and walk away. You'll come back in a little bit.
Mine wasn't that bad, actually.
That's good.
Mine would just scream at you and go, "Hey, you need more memory. Get rid of this Beck Weather app. Get rid of this, Ring camera app. Get rid of this." Like I had so many of my apps that I had like take that off. Yeah. So
it happens.
Yeah. So.
The other interesting thing is this has Android 12 on it. And so it's slightly different to get used to. I'm sure your new Samsung has that as well. But just the way that it's set up, just very, bubbly. Everything is rounded edges, rounded corners. So that's fine. But again, it is kind of weird to get used to just how the notifications pop up and the different importance levels that you can set when they show up. So it's a learning curve, even going from Android 10 to 12, but it wasn't too big of a jump, and so you could probably easily get used to it. It does have the system updates available for it. They came with Android 12 out of the box, so they'll work on quarterly updates from Motorola and Verizon. So we'll be able to get the security patches at a pretty decent clip for 3 years guaranteed. So that's nice. With the camera itself, there's a couple little bugs that are within the program somewhere, mainly if you zoom in on something. it can turn your photos pink, which is kind of a bizarre thing because it'll take the photo normal and your photo will look normal, but then it has a pink tint to it, and there's a look to it. So it's kind of bizarre, but you zoom in, whereas normally the photos are fantastic. It has a macro camera on it. What I would also suggest is just use the main camera, because it does have the 3 cameras on the back of it. Use the main camera. There's a macro camera and then a wide angle camera, but unless you're outside with a lot of light, you're going to get some grainy photos. So if you don't want grainy photos, or even if you do, of course, for me, I'm a sucker for the depth of field, which you can see here with the blurred background and the garnish, in clear view. Use the regular camera because you can manipulate the focus a little bit with choosing that you want this in focus versus not that. So there's a couple different things you can do to make it work the way that it should. Otherwise, I've had some awesome luck with the phone. Good reception, no dropped phone calls. Even though we don't have any 5G service up here, the 4G service has been excellent, and even the data speeds in buildings where there's low reception has been good. Thinking about the camera, just one thing to mention, it'll auto detect food. So you can see that this is a little red. It over saturates the colors. So if you don't like that, you can disable the automatic. There's like an auto mode where it automatically enhances, and that's in the settings. So you can mess with that, turn it off, so then you don't have to worry about that. But let's see, what else can I talk about? I talked about reception and the camera. The camera's the big thing that people complained about with the, graininess or poor low light situations. The camera, or the flashlight on the camera, is really nice. Obviously, I have a lot of light in here, so it's lens flare. Look at that, Howie, a lens flare. It's like your
I'm
buddy
in a Star Trek movie.
Yes, your buddy J.J. Abrams showed up. It is really bright for only 2 little tiny LEDs on the back, which I'm sure if you want to dive into your phone too, you can attest to some of that. But that's kind of my user review. I've had it now for like a month and change, so I've kind of put it through its paces. Haven't had any dropped phone calls, that sort of thing. And then one little tidbit, you see this little guy on the base, which of course it's going to focus, right? But I picked these up on a certain sales website. They're little magnetic ports. So you put that in to protect the base of your phone and prevent your charging port from getting dirty. And then the other end is the magnetic female end, I guess, that you put on your regular charging cord. And make sure you get the correct wattage for your phone, because some of them only go up to a certain level of watts. So if you get the full wattage level with this, it has a 30-watt charge on it. So you have to get at least 30 watts to make sure that it does the full turbo charge. And then it goes on to, of course, I don't have it down here, but on the end of your charging cable is just a piece that sits on the end, and then it'll magnetically just connect, which is very convenient for in the car or at home when you're just plugging it in to go to bed. With the battery turbocharge, I mentioned that. I got, first couple days I was using it a lot, like you said, downloading apps installing them, logging in, going through all of that. So I drained it to 7%. I plugged it in, and of course that was through the entire day. I plugged it in, and within 20 minutes I was at 80%. Okay. I love the turbocharge. So that's about what I got for you. And of course, my case is an OtterBox. I decided to go back to the OtterBox, try it out. Not too bulky, and it fits pretty decent in my hand anyway. Comfortable.
You have been listening to a UA production of Beer, Blues, and BS. If you enjoyed the show, help others find out about it by rating the show or leaving a review at your podcast listening service of choice. Thanks for listening, and may your glass never be empty.